3, 2, 1.
Here we go! Microphone. All right, this Friday is already taking off. Okay, grab a beer, everybody. We are at the Global Supply Chain Summit this week. Y'all, I saw everybody was very professional. They looked good. The content looked good, but now it's happy hour time. And I have brought you some special guests. But before I bring on my guests, just so you guys know, I'm Cassandra Gaines. I am your host of Madgaines live here on FreightWaves. And I am a transportation lawyer, somehow turned podcaster / troublemaker. And I want to tell you guys a quick story before we introduce our guests so that you'll understand what's going on. Earmuff the kids, because this is never a good thing when Cassandra's live and has the mic and kids are running around. Okay, so I was in Las Vegas for the Lean Mastermind event, which was very fun. But Lean made a mistake, a very big mistake. First of all, inviting me. Second of all, was the first night we got there. It was like a Friday night. It was in Vegas. We all saw each other. We survived COVID. We're excited. And Lean thought it'd be a great idea to have an open bar. And you guys, it was one of those really fancy open bars where like every alcohol you can imagine was available, ordered to your heart's desire. And they just let me loose. I mean, open bar. They just let me go. So, of course, I drank too much. And no thanks to, there's this brokerage called Ease Logistics in Ohio. And those assholes introduced me to espresso martini, if anybody's had that before. And that was just, good Lord. So the whole night, I had a great time. But I also harassed some of Lean's customers, threatened some of their employees' lives. There's some other debacle that went on. I think the CEO, I might have dropped a whole martini on him. So it was a little bit of a messy night. Great night for me. So as an apology, I have brought you guys the leaders of Lean Solution Groups. So I want to welcome them, which is David Bell and Robert Cadena, which are my two favorite people. So I thank you both for being here. Hopefully you can hear me because already the tech problems have started.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, because I thought, oh God, this is where it goes. Okay, so thank you for joining me. The Vegas event was a freaking hit. It was an amazing conference. Yes, this is the same exact clothing, actually, and that you last saw me in. That's true. Were you guys happy with the event? Were you hungover, or did you sleep for 3 days like I did? Tell us everything.
I thought it was an amazing event, just to see our customers up close, talk to them about their experience with Lean. We had some prospects as well. But the good part is we tried to make an event that was not a boring event. We had a lot of activities. We had golf with Jared Wolf. We had shooting, just a bunch of activities, car racing. So it was a lot of fun, but we also did a lot of networking, which is very good. One of the things that we've set our minds to is establish like a Lean alliance of our customers coming together and sharing their experiences. So that was a great event, a great platform for them to do that. And next year it's going to be a lot bigger. So if you guys couldn't make it this year because of COVID or any other plans, by all means, next year, please do so.
One of my favorite events. David, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I thought it was a great event also. When they told me they were going to do an open bar up on the 66 lounge, I said, this is trucking and transportation logistics, right? These people can drink. I'm like, they can drink and they don't go home. So we said, you know what? It's we're happy. We think this year is going to be a huge year in transportation logistics and for us and for everybody. So we essentially said, let's start it off right. It's Super Bowl weekend and it's our kick. We feel like kicking off the year is important for every company, and it's a way to work. We work hard, play hard. So it's a way to bring everybody together and show that we work hard and play hard. And like Robert said, it was a great opportunity also to just to get everything we do out there to customers that may only be utilized in a small portion of what we do, and to have Joe Theismann give some good motivational talks. I thought he did a great job. It's the second time I saw him, and it was just as good as the first time. And then PJ Fleck come in and finish it off. Just sends everybody from the event motivated, pumped, and ready to go back and kick some ass with their company. And it's what we feel we like to add value with our clients and our partnerships.
I love it. It was a great event, and everyone knows how much I love Lean. But today is going to be a little bit of a different type of show. At first, when FreightWave said, "Hey, can you do a session for this summit?" which has been a great summit all week, some amazing guests, and it continues. I thought, you know what? I should probably have my Lean people on as an apology for my nonsense. But then as the day continued, and then I started drinking, I was like, well, why don't we ask them some of the difficult questions? And I'm sure you guys may never invite me back to anything, and David may never talk to me again. But I promise you guys, so these are the questions people legit ask me because they know I'm a big Lean supporter. I'm not a Lean supporter because I don't even know what reasons. I'm a Lean supporter because I use your products and I hire people and I know how you guys work, right? But a lot of people secretly come to me and ask me these questions. These are not my questions. So don't get mad at me, okay? When you hear these questions.
Just the messenger.
Because I'm like,
we want you.
I'm just a messenger. David, do not hang up. I can see David's laptop just shut right down. Okay, first question, right? Is Lean taking away people's jobs?
Oh, you want to take them, Robert?
Take that one.
Take one?
Yeah,
David's like, oh God.
I don't mind taking that. Yeah, I'll take this one. So, when we first started sales, the sales in me, like you always look for what the hardest challenges are. And, 7-8 years ago when we started sales, like obviously trucking is American, true, through and blue, and red, white, and blue. And so we came across that a lot, but we did a write-up on it of why nearshoring is patriotic. We feel that it allows companies, and the margins in logistics are razor thin, and every dollar counts. And employees on your P&L is your highest expense. So what we do is we fill those low positions, the tracking and tracing, the low positions that nobody wants to fill. First and foremost, and then we fill the carrier booking positions and the carrier sales and the back office stuff that that traditional logistics companies have people in a same position for 5, 10, 15 years doing the same thing, paying them twice what the job actually pays. And we allow them to take those savings and deploy them into positions that create revenue and generate revenue, such as sales positions, high-level executives, CMOs, marketing. Allow them to deploy those dollars into really higher paying jobs that are sustainable and long term for the company. And I think that's where we benefit a lot of our clients is we allowed a track and trace role to pay X forever because you can always cycle in new people to do those roles. And allowed carrier sales to cover those low margins. If you're in carrier sales and you're in the US, you want those people covering the high value loads, the big money loads, the VIP customers, the important ones that if you mess up one load, you're going to lose a customer, and have the people carrier sales in your satellite office doing the $500, $800 local tile moves and water moves and the stuff that nobody's going to die if it doesn't deliver the next day by 10 a.m. And that complement has allowed them to allow their carrier sales make more money because they're steady working on the high margin stuff, which they get paid on instead of wasting their time working low. So we feel like we've offered a hybrid approach to balance the scales of the impact of wage crunch, everybody having to pay more, and getting and helping the turnover in the jobs that nobody really wants here in the U.S. It's kind of our take on it.
That's your first time hearing that question, I guess. Robert,
yeah, I just made that up right off the top of my head. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we like I said, I'm sure they pass these questions to you, but we get them all the time, especially when we're trying to onboard new new customers. One of the things that, outsourcing has been there for many years. It used to be telephone companies, airlines, and they used to go through that process. Nowadays, people are not looking for a lot of big savings, but more quality. Right now, with the Great Resignation and all the things that's going on in our country, one of the things is our clients come to us and say, listen, even if I didn't want to do it, I need the people to grow and scale. So we're helping businesses grow and bring better paying positions to employees in the US. As a developed country, the idea is for that country to start getting better and better pay and better paying jobs. So people are not looking for those entry level positions, which in turn, like I said, one of the things I always tell my customer, I hate the word outsourcing, but if you look at this as a satellite office, you as a business owner should be able to look for talent anywhere in the world nowadays. It's a global world. So if you're looking for talent, make sure you get the right talent no matter what part of the world you're in, because after pandemics has shown us that everybody can work from home, everybody can work from another country and do the exact same job as somebody here on those positions. For those developing countries, that those positions mean a lot. So I can tell you, our positions, the positions we have in Colombia and Guatemala, mean a lot to the people there. And obviously, it creates a whole world of savings for our customers here, for them to pay even more their current employees here in the U.S. So I always get that question, and when I tell them, listen, it's your satellite offices and they're your employees in another country, it kind of changes the whole mentality of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love those points. And I will tell everybody that this is kind of a customer-driven interview in a way, even though these questions, aren't very, they're not easy, they're not very nice, but they need to be talked about in a way, because they often come to the top of people's minds when they're thinking about lean and using lean. And I always get the same questions because people know I use lean. So lean runs, for those of you who are like, what can they do for me? Well, for my business, even though I'm not a transportation company, lean runs my marketing. They run my website. They built all my websites. They handle all the emails. They handle everything that has to do with marketing and social media, the designs, everything you see, basically they do. And then I have a software that I have just released at Lean's event that Lean Tech has built and marketing has completely designed. It's beautiful. It's called Carrier Assure. You can see the entire product on carrierassure.com. But why I tell you this is because they are an extension of my business. So I talk to them all day, every day, and they aren't just, I don't feel like I'm just outsourcing. I feel like I'm going to the experts for this. So this isn't a commercial. They are not sponsoring this. I'm just being nice because I did threaten to stab some of their customers at the happy hour. Stab or cut. I think it was cut. I will cut you.
Cut.
Not
Stab's
stab.
such a harsh word.
It's better than stab, Alfonso had to tell me to behave. Next question is the second question that everybody asks me about you guys. All right. Which is, why would I use somebody who's servicing all my competitors? Because wouldn't they share the information? I get that a lot because you guys do you have a really broad reach across our industry. I think almost everybody uses you. So what is your answer to that?
So that's another question I get all the time. The fact that we actually connect to your systems, to our customer systems. So, each one of these companies has their own TMS, their own ERP, whatever, CRM. It really depends on where we're working out, but we connect to their system. So we don't share any information. We don't store any information. The way you think about it is if somebody were to just go online at their house from here in the States, they're doing the same process in Colombia. We did expand our network. So right now we have 5 different cities with 10 buildings where we've segmented everybody in a different building. Talent is there, a lot of talent. So that's never going to be a problem. But we wanted to ensure that we can get our customers their space in the office. So they would have their logo, their team could come together. And like I said, we've been in business 10 years. We have a lot of the big names out there in transportation and logistics, a lot of competitors, and thankfully, they trust us. And and you've been at the show, you've seen our customers, the relationship that we have. It's because they trust us with their information. They trust us with doing the right thing of segmenting everything the way they want it. And our IT team is just superb at making sure we have firewalls, everything in place for that information not to, like I said, for that information not to be out there. But the fact that we just connect directly to their systems, all the information and confidentiality and security is here in the US. I've gotten further questions where they say, what about an employee talking to another employee? I said, it's very far-fetched where they just work for one company. They go to work for one company and they make friends with the people within that company. To access their offices, there's thumbprint access on big offices for our major customers. So it's really not a big deal, and it's not information that would be of any value to anybody in Colombia. So I do get that question, and after they go to Colombia, which I always incentivize our customers to do so, they see it up close and understand there's nothing to be afraid of in that sense, and that the fact that we do have competitors actually show how good we are. We have 18 publicly traded companies, so they're very strict with regards to policies and security. And we've gone through that process. We're ISO 9001, and we're getting our 27001 certification this year. So we're very committed into that aspect, because that's exactly where our customers get us. Is because they trust us completely with their information.
I think I would reiterate too that we aren't accessing their data. Their employees at our company are accessing their data. So it's their employee and their secured environment and their secured VPN connection to their secured office in the States. So we don't have any lean admin employees or employees that are not assigned to our clients that have access to any information whatsoever.
I think those are really important points, and I'm glad you guys answered them. All right, so talking about Colombia, I travel a lot, so this isn't one of mine, but I do hear this a lot. People they're curious, they want to go see their teams in Colombia, and they're a little nervous. And oh, by the way, for anybody who's watching this and you are nervous, I will be traveling there, I think next month. I had to reschedule it. So if anybody wants to come with me, I'll be there, I think, the whole entire month. I plan, because I have my favorite people there. But what do you say when folks are, they've never traveled before and they're like, oh my God, I'm from Missouri. I've never left the Midwest. You want me to should I go to Colombia? Like, that sounds terrifying. Am I going to get shot or kidnapped or, all that other nonsense?
Another question I get all the time, I'm Colombian. I had to live through that whole Pablo Escobar drug cartels things in the 80s. It was horrible. The country since then has been trying to clean the reputation of having violence. Right now, just to give you a brief example, in 2019, we had 800 of our customers visit our offices. So they go to Medellin, Cartagena. And for them also, it's the very first time for some of them outside the U.S. So it's not something we take lightly. We have a whole concierge team that just takes care of everything from your travel plans to receiving you at the airport, driving you. The whole process is to make you feel comfortable. Our offices are Class A, beautiful places. Thankfully, we have nothing to report with regards to any of our customers going over there and something happening to them. Listen, at the end of the day, cities like Bogota, they're big cities. You just got to be careful with what you do, like you would in any other city of the world. But truth of the matter is, some of our U.S. cities are extremely dangerous. So I just tell them, listen, there's a high priority that you're going to get something like that in Chicago than it is in Colombia. So with absolutely certainty, there's nothing to be afraid. My family business is we take care of cruise ships in Colombia. So we receive 120 cruises in Cartagena. So it's a very safe place. We did have our C-level executives from a company. They were very worried coming from Lowell, Arkansas, and they went over there and they just had the best things to say. And after that, our customers actually bring their families and start traveling, because it's hard when you get all that bad news and then you finally go and say, wow, there's nothing to worry about. And I love this country. So a lot of our customers love their country. ARL has a picture of a flag of Colombia in their office. So I'm really proud that we've made that connection between Colombia and the U.S. I really love it.
By the way, happy birthday, Ron, yesterday. Day late, Ron. birthday, Ron
Yep.
Faraday from Arrow yesterday. And Bobby Harris's birthday today. Happy birthday, Bobby, with Blue Grace. I would say I was telling a story one time to a customer that we had a group of their people came to the States to go to their office, and they actually had an incident where they actually ran to their hotel room. They thought they were getting mugged, and they almost were. And I was telling the story, and the customer said, "That was us." I was like, I didn't realize it was them. I was telling the story. So, like, we've actually had more incidents, I think, of people coming, our people in Colombia coming here to train, because clients do bring their people here to train to the U.S. because they have visas, bring them here to train, have more incidents of something happening in the U.S. than we do clients actually having an incident in Colombia.
Oh, I believe it. My God. Sorry, Chicago, but Chicago's a hot mess. Come on now.
It wasn't Chicago either. It was a place you wouldn't think of. It was a nice little town in Virginia. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yep.
very,
I
very
usually blame everything on Chicago. I am a New Yorker, though. Okay, so I brought up the services I know about because I use lean staffing, lean tech, and lean marketing. Is there anything I'm forgetting that you guys want to tell folks? And there are a lot of supply chain folks watching this as well, and they're like, "Well, she's talking about like trucking and logistics and shippers, but what about the rest of us?"
So there is a ton of services within that transportation world that we've been able to secure, things that we didn't know that we're going to be able to do. And companies like NFI, that's managed transportation, they have a lot of job positions that have to do with warehousing. Carrier sales has been a big one that a lot of our customers are adding carrier sales because the quality of the employees in Colombia actually help them through that carrier relationship. So that's been a big one. Besides that, obviously, we've gone into other industries as well. So if you think of any type of work, that's related that you can do with a phone and a computer in front of you, that's probably something we can definitely do in Colombia. So we've been doing a lot of BPO, so the business process outsourcing, more on a niche type of process. So if you guys have any processes that need automation, that's where lean tech comes in. And then we have our BPO side, which is basically customer service as well. So, just think of any type of position where you're saying, I'm either using these employees the wrong way because they should be doing something else or a position, and then try to fill those roles in Colombia. But we started on entry-level positions all the way to auditing. We're doing, we have paralegals, we have psychologists. So it's incredible how much we've advanced and how many, those kind of positions have been implemented within our structure on the supply chain. So right now, with everything that's going on with, home delivery, last mile, that's a big one for us as well, where you need those people to call the homes and make sure people are home. So anything you can get in that sphere of the supply chain, that's a position we currently have.
Some of those tasks being automated, because I think about some of the people that I work with and the clients, and the first thing that pops in my head actually is finance, because you have these really smart finance people, and they're getting bogged down with all of this paperwork. So BOLs, invoices. How about factoring companies? You get a lot of those calls. Is any of those type of specific examples, do they apply?
Correct. We do have a couple of customers that are on the factoring side. And it's incredible because no matter how much you automate, we have positions of the actual system automates the POD bill of lading, but somebody has to recognize those documents and kind of scan them and segment it of what type of document they are. So it really is it's a combination of the technology and the staffing, which is what we're all about. So we come to our customers and say, listen, I think this process that you're doing, it can be automated. So this is the way we think it could be done. And we've gone through that route a lot. We've probably built over 200 bots specifically for our customers, specifically for their job functions that they need to. So anything you can think of where you need that automation, that's something we do. And like I said, on the finance side, we have a couple of factoring companies where we do cash applications, accounts receivable, accounts payable, invoice distribution. So you name it, whatever it is on that side. We probably have employees doing in that segment.
And the funny thing is that we're in the industry where we all do the same thing. Everybody does the same thing in transportation logistics, but everybody does it different way. So what we do is we come in and look at the way they do it and apply like the best practice way to do it and automate it, and then allow the exception processing, which takes people, and add that link into it. Do one other automation I think is really great that we just added too is a training automation of a virtual simulator for carrier sales, for customer sales, for track and trace, where you don't have to sit and train people and listen to them. It's basically a simulator for a virtual simulator for training, where you're getting a live voice and a live person essentially giving you rebuttals and training you, where somebody can make 100 calls, or you could dump 100 calls into it and grade those calls and see where people are, need improvement versus having to listen to them or role play. That's one of the things we're excited about, is that technology we've recently launched. And I don't think many people have even heard of it or know we're doing it, because it's literally like brand new.
Yeah, I didn't.
But we're excited about that, where you could train 100 carrier sales reps on a simulator versus having to sit there and role play and do that. Or you can have them make 100 calls in the simulator, then go back and get a real get a real-time review of key data points in those calls. So we're really excited about that technology too, and that automation. If we can automate the training process and do that, like, that's huge for big companies, especially that are hiring 50 and 100 people in every class.
The last question, we have about a few minutes left, but I want to hit on this one. This one's probably the hardest one of the hardest ones. I can't answer this when these questions come to me, because I'm a lawyer, so I don't give a shit if somebody sues me, because I know how to defend it. I litigate. But a couple people have asked me, especially at the event, well, if I do use Lean for outsourcing my services, or using them as the experts in transportation services, what if they mess up and I am liable? And you don't have to commit to anything, but give me like the general answer you guys usually.
Well, I mean, generally the way it works is if any employee in your company messes up, you're liable to some extent, and it's all about the training and the best practices and the onboarding of those employees correctly. The employees don't really do functions that, like, they don't wire cash, they don't make payments to carriers. Like, really, in transportation logistics, what could they mess up? They could wire somebody the wrong money, and that where the liability. There's not really. I mean, you're no liability. Like, you have to prove damage, and there has to be damage. And so, I mean, listen, knock on wood, in 10 years, we've never had one incident where an employee has caused liability that couldn't be resolved. For example, they do a wrong entry on a customs, entry, and customs comes back and finds, 800,000. Then you mitigate it. You end up paying 2,000, and customer comes and says, "Hey, pay this." And we're like, "It's your employee. It's not our responsibility. What best practices did you put in so it doesn't happen again? Let us help you with that." Like, we don't take on the liability because they manage the employees, versus a typical outsourcing where the BPO manages the workflow. So if they're managing, we don't have anything to do with it. They need to make sure, just like any employee, whether it's in Georgia or California office or Chicago office or Chattanooga office or their Barranquilla office or Bogota office, they need to manage it the same way they would for every other employee in all of their offices.
That was a really good answer. And you can also tell viewers that David has had to deal with lawyers at some point in his career.
Yeah,
someone in the transportation industry, probably a transportation lawyer, has messed up.
This is what I have for lawyers.
Oh God, is that a sword?
Yeah, this is a hand forged sword. This is what I have for lawyers.
Oh, I want it. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is very special.
Where
to me.
was
This
that
was a
at
gift.
happy hour last week?
Yeah, if I brought this, you would have done some damage. This was a gift from a dear friend of mine. So it's one of a kind, hand forged.
All right, so you guys have 1 minute left. What is next for Lean? And also, does Alfonso's hair always look that good?
The first thing is Alfonso hair always looks that good. That's the one given. One of the things we're expanding. We're expanding in Guatemala. We have a couple of countries that we're going to be expanding to. We have a portal where we're literally being able to recruit anywhere in the world. So it's going to be interesting to see how far we can take this and how many countries we can go into, and start looking for those talent for our customers here in the U.S. in different places and remote places. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Just for news, I'm very excited about this, because for those of you who Google Antigua, Guatemala, which is right near Guatemala City, Guatemala is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I'm so excited you guys are thinking about opening up an office there. Thank you very much to everybody. Great job, FreightWaves. This has been a powerful week for the Global Supply Chain Summit. And by the way, FreightWaves is going to have a conference in Arkansas in May that I'm very excited about. Stay tuned.
Be there.